By the year 2050, the human population will be nearly 10 billion, which means we'll need to have doubled the amount of food we now produce.
The small farms have been replaced by fewer, larger farms.
There's no such thing as sustainable farming.
I'm Becky Seidman.
Tyler Murray, Doobie-Doo Farm, Lee, New Hampshire.
I'm Jimmy Tudor, and I'm one of the owners of Clyde Farm in Farmington, New Hampshire.
With my husband, Eric Seidman, we operate East Wind Farm here in Stratford, New Hampshire.
Sustainability can be achieved on any scale. It's just working towards that. You can be a small farm and be unsustainable, or you can be a large farm and be sustainable, and then everything in between.
But I think that everybody is actually looking for sustainability of their operation. They want it to continue. I don't think I can even sort farms into ones that are doing sustainable agriculture and ones that aren't doing sustainable agriculture. I can think of different strategies farmers are taking and some that are more successful than others.
We're certified organic, so we have an inspector come and basically audit our operation and make sure that we are organic and that none of our products that we're selling as certified organic are not organic. So what happens a lot is small farms, it's not like they're just like flat out lying to you, but they say, oh yeah, we're organic. If they're not certified organic, it's really just like, well, what do you mean by organic? But what they consider organic is like, oh yeah, well, they're outside a lot. We're not like a factory farm. Well, it's not really organic. Like, people expect that the food the animal's eating doesn't have chemicals in it or pesticides. The animals you're eating are only made up of the food they're eating. So if the animal's not eating organic, then the eggs or the meat or the cheese, milk is not organic either.
It's really helpful, I think, for people to understand a little bit about the food production systems that they're supporting and what those look like. As fewer and fewer people are involved in agriculture directly, people have less and less familiarity with the challenges and the decisions that have to be made when growing and raising food.
Things that we do is we use renewable resources to grow our crop. For fertilizer, we're using composted chicken manure as the main ingredient, wood ash instead of limestone, because limestone is something that is mined and there's a finite amount of it. Cover cropping is one way to build nutrients in the soil without using non-renewable resources like synthetic fertilizers, synthetic nitrogen being the main thing in farming that is not sustainable.
Here on our farm, we use a lot of practices in which we try to take care of the soil and try to take care of the land, and while producing food and agricultural products, we try to minimize the amount of harm we do to the land. And so things that we do include rotational grazing, crop rotation, trying to increase the organic matter in our fields, and having some livestock as well as crops to try to increase the organic matter on the farm as well.
We're really trying to be regenerative, so we're trying to add more into the natural system than removing it. A lot of farms are very deficient in one way or another. They've been over-farmed for like 200 years. If we sustain the same level of production right now, it's not sustainable financially or logistically because it's just not producing enough.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 30 to 40% of post-harvest food is wasted annually, and the coronavirus is making the situation worse.
From onions in Oregon to green beans tilled under in the fields of Florida to milk dumped in Wisconsin because big customers like schools and coffee shops are closed. Large farmers with customers and supply chains shut down have no choice.
Farmers across the country are destroying millions of pounds of fresh produce as the coronavirus has majorly disrupted the food supply chain.
If there is a bright spot, some local small farms are doing okay.
CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture.
People in your community will pay up front in the winter or early spring, and then throughout the season, when you have things in season, they come and pick up those products. How that works is, you pay money during the winter or spring, and then you come every week and you pick up your share of that week's harvest.
The Seacoast Farm community is very cooperative. We're part of the Three Rivers Farm Alliance, which makes up 20 farms in the area. We all work together to bring our product to the food marketplace in the area, and then also farmers in the area, even though there are competition, seem to be incredibly helpful, are willing to lend out equipment.
Like right now, we don't have any vegetables from our season because we've already sold all of them. So we're buying in vegetables from other organic farmers. We buy in dairy from another organic dairy that's in Rollinsford. We buy in maple syrup from another farm. So just in our farm stand alone, we do a lot of buying. And then some of those farms buy in products from us to sell in their farm stands.
Especially a lot of the old timers that want to see the next generation prevail. So it's been a great experience. Farming is a tough industry because everything else that we need keeps getting more expensive, and the price of food either stays the same or even goes down. So we're in a tight spot where it's a very capital intensive industry with not a lot of people willing to pay for the food at cost of production.
So when you go down to Market Basket, you can get a whole chicken for like less than $1 a pound when it's on sale. When our product is 6 times that price maybe, a lot of people just in their mind just cannot even fathom being able to do that. Culturally, we're brought up that the cheap food is #1 priority. We can't compete with that. Because of COVID, first of all, the wholesale selling of meat and vegetables definitely totally changed because all the restaurants shut down. But on the other hand, people, because of the glitch in the food system, got way more interested in local food. We sold out of our CSAs really quickly. For us, it's definitely been a net positive besides just the general uncertainty of what's going to happen, because obviously that's not good for any business. We're obviously going in the winter, or what's going to happen? Are things going to get shut down? Are we going to have a major economic depression where there's not going to be enough people to buy local food, which does have a premium price?
I'm hoping the future will bring a great amount of interest on the part of consumers who are not directly involved in agriculture in supporting and purchasing local agricultural products. That's going to be key to the success going forward. People should buy local if they want to see agriculture and working agricultural landscapes remain part of New England. The way that agriculture can remain viable here is if people support that by purchasing locally grown stuff.
Honestly, people are vegan basically for the same reason that we're livestock farmers. That's because we really are concerned about the environment and animal welfare. It creates an opportunity for people who really want to eat animal products but do it ethically and have a positive effect on the environment.
If people even just kept their own gardens to reduce their food consumption from large grocery chains or shopping at the farmer's market, going to restaurants that support farm to table.
But then also a big part of it's food security. When the pandemic hit, there's this huge disarray in the food system, and you like to think that it would never happen, but there are situations where the food supply kind of gets a little hiccup, and it's important to have some local farms, and way more than we have in New England right now.
If you want agriculture to still be here, you have to support it.